Hello, in this video I'm gonna show you the first things that you should do after setting up your Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. So you can see that my Pixel was just set up, and the first thing is to connect to Wi-Fi. You probably already have done that, but we should do it because it will be required for most of the further steps. So let's go to the settings and go to network and internet. Then click on internet and make sure that Wi-Fi is enabled. Then select a network you wish to connect to. Enter its password and approve that. If the password was correct, then it should say connected right here. Once it says it, there is a very important thing that we should begin with, which is the software update. It makes sure that your device runs smoothly, securely, and has the newest features. So let's scroll all the way down and go to About Phone, I believe. No, sorry, it's in the system, I think. Yes, software updates. And then click on System Update. It'll start checking for updates, and if there is no updates available, you can just proceed to the further step. But as you can see in my case, it says that a system update is available. So I can just click on Download and Install and wait until that system update gets downloaded. Later on, it'll ask you to install the update, and in the process of installing, you won't be able to use your phone since it'll just restart it. But now, since it's downloading and installing it within the system, you can continue to use it until you're prompted to restart your phone. And the restart, of course, will take a bit longer than usual restarts, since applying update takes a bit longer. And I've also noticed that my current version is the Android 14, and the system update is updating my Android to Android 15. So this may take quite a while because it is a big update, but it's very worth doing that, and of course you can continue using your device. And now, as you can see, the system software update was just downloaded and installed, and I can click on restart now. And now let's unlock it and continue with the further step, which is signing into Google account. If you haven't done that yet, most probably you have, but it is also required for our further steps. And you may notice that if you had Android 14 as well and you've updated it to Android 15, some of the things may be a bit changed. So let's start by signing into Google by going to the passwords, passkeys, and accounts in settings. Then if under accounts for owner you don't have any Google account, click on add account. Now click on Google and enter your email, or if you don't have an account, you can click on create it. Then enter your password, and I'm gonna do that off camera. Click on agree. You need to agree to the terms of service because without it you can add the account. Then you can see the backup device data. If you don't know whether or not to leave that enabled, I would personally suggest you to leave that enabled so you don't lose your data in case something happens to your device. And now, since our account is added, let's go to the Play Store, because here we'll need to update some apps, just as we update our system, but also some apps just may not work without an update. So let's click on the profile icon in top right corner and click on My Apps and Games. Updates available, and as you can see, I have 43 updates pending, so I'm gonna click on Update All. And in the meantime, of course, we can continue using the phone. So let's go to Setting and set up our screen lock as well as the fingerprint. Let's go to Security and Privacy, Device Unlock, Screen Lock. And if your screen lock is currently set to None or Swipe, I would highly recommend to set it to pattern, pin or password, so no one else besides you has access to your phone. But before we do that, make sure that you set something that you are just able to remember, because in case you forget your screen lock, the only way to restore your phone is to restart, to just factory reset it, and that'll erase all your data besides the things that have been backed up. And of course, not everything that gets backed up, so it's best to not forget your password. I'm gonna set a pattern. Now I'm gonna draw it, click on Next and redraw it to confirm. Then you can select what to do with notifications on lock screen, and I'm gonna personally choose the Show Sensitive Content only when unlocked, because I don't really want my sensitive notifications to be shown when my phone is locked. And now there is the face and fingerprint unlock, and first I'm gonna set the fingerprint unlock, then I'm gonna talk about the face unlock, because it has a few things that I just want to talk about. So let's go to the fingerprint, and this is very secure and also very convenient. So I'm gonna click on Agree, then place my finger on the fingerprint sensor, which is on the power button, then release it, tap again and repeat multiple times. Remember to move your finger between each scan so it scans the whole area of your fingerprint. And roll the edges as well, and you should be good to go. You can also add another one, but most probably you will be using your right thumb or your right index finger, but of course there are some other options. Now there is the face unlock, and I personally wouldn't recommend setting it up since it is not really secure, because it only bases on the camera. There are some phones on the market that are based on IR sensors, but this one only bases on the camera, which makes it pretty insecure since it can be unlocked with a photo of you or by someone who looks similar to you. Although I'm still gonna show you how to set it up in case you need it. Just click on it, then click on More, Agree, then click on Start and position your face within the frame. Later, it'll prompt you to move your head up or down, and it will be done. Now my face is added. I can enable the option to skip lock screen, so whenever I unlock my device with face, then it will just go to home screen automatically without me needing to swipe up. And I like them, so I'm gonna click that, then I'm gonna go back, and let's see how to unlock the device with these three methods. So the first one is click on the power button, slide up and enter the screen lock. The fingerprint, you don't even need to click, I believe, or you actually need. So on most phones you don't, but on this one, as you can see, you need to click first, and it'll be unlocked just like that. Even if you click with a different finger, just place your correct one and it'll be done. And then with face, just click on the button, look at your phone, and it's unlocked. And now let's change our wallpaper, since this is a thing that most of the people do. And as your wallpaper, you can set different kinds of stuff like photos transferred from your previous device, as well as something downloaded from the internet, or you can take a picture with this device as well. And I'm gonna take it now because I think I don't have any pictures in my gallery. Then you can just go to the settings, and in the settings find wallpaper and style. Then you can select lock screen or home screen, and on either of them you can click on more wallpapers, then select my photos. Of course, you can also select a wallpaper from some featured here, but I think the best one is your personal one, so I'm gonna allow all access to my photos. Then let's go to my photos, select that photo. This is how it will look on the closed screen. This is in the internal screen. You can of course tap to adjust that photo, then approve. You can also adjust it here differently, so that's pretty neat. I think I like that. Then on lock screen, this is how it's gonna look. You can also enable like some 3D and motion effects. Maybe let's download it, because why not? Now I'm gonna enable that cinematic wallpaper, and let's see what it really does. I think it's working on it right now. Now it's like doing something. I don't really get what it's doing, but I don't think I like it. Maybe with your photo it will be a bit better. I'm actually gonna leave it on the previous one. Then click on set wallpaper. You can select which wallpapers to set, and for both lock screen and home screen you can select either the external or internal screen, and I think that's really great. No, actually it can be only... Okay, so sorry, it can be selected for both the external and internal screen, but you can set it separately for either lock screen or home screen. I'm gonna set it for both. And now I have it. So let's go to the next step, which is the Google Pay. So if you can't find the wallet, then it's great. If you can't, then you can install it. Although I think you can slide down from the top of your screen, then maybe find the wallet here, and if you can, then click on the edit button, which is this pencil, and just find the wallet and drag it up so you can place it somewhere. It will just add that wallet app to your quick settings, and now as you tap on it to open it, at first it will set it up, and what we need it for is Google Pay, and this is up to your preference, but I know that most of the people do use their Google Pay in order to pay online or pay in stores physically by tap to pay without needing to reach out to your wallet. And I'm gonna click on install wallet. I'm gonna install that, and now it's installed, so let's reopen it. Okay, let's try it this time. Yes, and now it's setting it up. I'm gonna allow notifications, and I'm gonna click on view wallet, then add to wallet, payment card, and here you can scan your payment, either debit or credit card, with your camera, or enter the details manually. After you enter them, click on save and continue, and you will verify with your bank via phone call, SMS, or your bank app. And from now on you can just pay in stores or online. In order to pay in stores, whenever it's time for a payment to tap to your reader, you can just slide from the top and open the wallet if you have added the wallet shortcut, or if you haven't, then open the wallet app, which you can also just get from the Play Store without the need to have this shortcut. And after you open it, your phone has to be unlocked, of course, you will be able to simply pay. And now I think that the last thing is go to the battery, and in battery find charging optimization, of course in settings, and make sure that charging optimization is enabled, and it's the best to set it to adaptive charging. What adaptive charging does is when you plug it in, especially at night, it will learn your habits, and from that it will know, for example, if you go to sleep for 8 hours, then for the first hour or 2 hours it will charge up to 80%, then halt it and resume that charging about an hour before you're expected to wake up, so it doesn't overcharge overnight. And that's pretty great. I think that it's really good to have that enabled. And also, if you get the notification to finish the setup, then it is also really great to finish it now. If you get the notification here, you can just open it. If you don't, then go to settings and click on finish setting up, then click on start. Now you can set up using another device, and this is a very important question, not to skip it if you want to set up using another device, which will copy settings, accounts, apps, photos, whatever from your old phone, because if you skip it now, then you probably won't be able to do it through the native method. You can do it with third-party apps, but I think it's the best to do it with the native method. So if you want to do it now, if you haven't done that yet during the setup, or you can skip it, but since you skip it, you won't be able to do it later with the native method, as I've mentioned. Now it's getting the device ready, so it may take a while. Also, if you haven't inserted your SIM card yet and you want to, then it's great to do it at the beginning of using your phone. So if you want to use a physical card, you can just insert a pin or needle or a SIM card removal tool into that hole right here. Then it'll pop out a little tray where you can put your SIM card in, pop that tray in again, and it'll be all done. Or you can download eSIM when it prompts you to, or in the settings. So I'm gonna skip that now, and then I'm gonna confirm my pattern for some reason, and it asks me again if I want to copy apps and data, and this is the last time it'll ask me this. If I skip it here, then that option, the native one, will be disabled. Now I'm just gonna click on next, then more. You can enable or disable the Gemini, which is your AI assistant, which replaces the Google Assistant. I think I'm gonna use it. Then it says something about Google Pay, which I've mentioned earlier, so I'm gonna skip it. And you can also adjust a few more things in case you want. I'm gonna click on no thanks. Then I'm gonna click on no thanks about the email updates, and everything was finished. That's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.